The House of My Childhood. That's the title, and this is the first stanza of the poem. Let's begin with the title, The House of My Childhood. The very word childhood is connected with memories. And when we talk about the house of our childhood, obviously it will be nostalgic, it will be abundant with memories, it will be something that we long to go back to, right? Most of us will have this connection or association with our childhood memories and the house in which we were brought up. And many of us might have shifted from that house. Some of you might be still living in that house, but many of us might have shifted from the house in which we grew up as a child. So, in that sense, the childhood house, or what we call the ancestral house, നമ്മൾ തറവാട് എന്നൊക്കെ പറയാറ്, that is always associated with memories, memories of the past which we long to go back to. So that is the title. So right from the title we understand that this is going to be nostalgic in theme. And yes, it is nostalgic. More than that, it is autobiographical. Let's take a look at the first stanza. The house of my childhood stood empty on a grey hill, all its furniture gone, except my grandmother's grindstone and the brass figurines of her gods. In the first stanza, we get a picture of the speaker visiting his childhood house, or the ancestral house, and he describes its location, he describes the condition of the house. He says, he uses terms, words to describe the house, such as the house of my childhood stood empty, and it stood on a grey hill. This is the first image that the poet presents to us. It's empty and it is located on a grey hill. Usually, when we talk about some house located on a hill, it's most of the time a green picture that comes into our mind. The hill would be green and more lively, and it would be something pleasant to the eye. But here, the hill is presented as grey in color, which means it is colorless, it is dull, it is bleak. So this bleakness, dullness, colorlessness is signified by using the word grey. So upon this grey hill, his ancestral house is standing, but that house is empty now. Nobody lives there. It's deserted. And inside the house, all the furniture is gone. Maybe all the remaining family members might have taken everything that was left in the house. Anyway, it's empty inside. There's no furniture, no chair, no table, nothing. It's all gone. It's just an empty house. The only thing that's remaining is the grandmother's grindstone. Of course, this is a grindstone. And the brass figurines of her gods. So two things remain, and these two things are the possession of the speaker's grandmother. Just like the ancestral house, grandmother is another image that is often associated with nostalgia, often associated with past memory. And the only things left in this ancestral house is one, the grindstone of the grandmother, and second one, the brass figurines of her gods, the deities that she used to worship, small figures of the gods that the grandmother worshipped. Now, these two images or objects are objects of the past. They are objects of a culture that is being lost, according to the speaker. Because the grindstone represents the past It was associated with the past lifestyle and culture. Now we don't see any grindstones in most of the households. It's either electronic mixer grinders or other equipments, household equipments. We don't see such grindstones. It's not common. So it's a thing of the past. It's something that was associated with the cultural heritage of the land or the family. So the culture is slowly waning off, or the culture is slowly disappearing. And the second figure, the brass figurines of her gods, denotes to the religion and religious belief that the family had in the past. Because of modernization, because of new ways of life, religious beliefs are also slowly getting disappeared, and that is what is indicated by this image of the brass figurines of the gods. The family members did not take the brass figurines, the family members did not take the grindstone of the grandmother, both signifying the past heritage and culture. So that's the first stanza. I'll read that again. He says, "The house of my childhood," that is, his ancestral house, "stood empty, and it stood on a grey hill. All the furnitures were gone, and what is remaining is grandmother's grindstone and grandmother's the brass statues or brass figurines of gods, the gods that she worshipped." Now, from this stanza, let's move on to the next one. Again, one more thing that I would like to denote is grindstone can be of different shapes. This is a grindstone that is big in size and flat in shape, but the grindstones that grandmothers usually use is it's not square in shape. It's something like a bowl in which and it's small in size also. So I hope you understand that particular grindstone. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next stanza.